You have this building with the 6 black chimneys on top and the clock face.
War museum.
This is the old Customs and Exile House. If any of your illegal contraband got taken off you whilst coming into England, it will get taken here. All your illegal fags, drugs, alcohol. Get kept in a basement for 1 year, 1 day, until it's incinerated. However, I've worked on this river for some years now. I have never seen a puff of smoke come out of any of those chimneys. I do hear, however, they host some of the best Christmas parties on the river. Next to that, you have the old Billingsgate Fish Market. There was a fish market here for nearly 500 years. Due to expansion, she went down to a place called Canary Wharf. Sir Michael Caine had his very first job as an apprentice fishmonger right over here. It is now hosts events such as the London Fashion Week. During the winter months, it has the largest outdoor ice rink in England. Next to that, you have this building, fully made of glass. Now, a lot of people ask me what this building is, and I have it on good authority that this is the headquarters for the Apprentice Window Cleaning Association. To your left, dominating the skyline, standing at 1,017 foot tall, it's the Shard, or the Shard of Glass. It's home to offices, apartments, restaurants, hotel, and on 72nd floor there is a viewing platform, cleverly named The View. They say on a day like this you can see up to 60-70 miles of London. That will set you back £30 a person. Coming up, just going under, the world's famous London Bridge. Now people travel from thousands and thousands of miles to see London Bridge, and unfortunately this is all you get. But what it lacks in looks, it does make up in historic value. There's been a bridge here for over 2,000 years. The first one was built by the Romans and pulled down by the Vikings. One has famously burnt down, all the others have fallen down. To our left, behind this bush, Southwark Cathedral. A son of a butcher got baptised at that cathedral. He later emigrated to America and founded the Harvard University. This was John Harvard, who was baptised in a cathedral. Following it over to the left, you have the replica of Francis Drake's Golden Hind. Francis Drake was the first Englishman to circumnavigate around the world. The replica has circumnavigated around the world twice already. Now we're coming up to Cannon Street Rail Bridge. There's not a lot we can say about the rail bridge, but it's very big. It's a fantastic job. Stop the trains falling in the water. But to the right, you can see this health and beauty spa. On a daily occurrence, you can see some semi-naked people walking around. But trust me when I say, some days are better than others. Some days I wish I never looked in at all. On our right, we have Walk Walk. This is one of the old working walls in London. This is where all the London's rubbish gets taken. Each of these containers is equal to 1 lorry off the road. The barges come here, ships pick them up and take them down to a place called Essex. So London gives Essex all of its rubbish. Essex then returns it in form of reality TV. Now we're going underneath Southwark Road Bridge. This was built in 1921. This was built to ease the congestion of London's roads. However, due to its complex roadways and pathway systems, this is the least used bridge in the whole of London.
Southwark Bridge.
The only people who use this bridge are your professional drivers, your lorry drivers, black cabbies, your double-decker red buses, your van drivers. Over to the left, you have this white building with a timber frame and a thatched roof. This is a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. It's the only thatched roof you'll find in London today. And thatched roofs were made illegal after the Great Fire of London in 1666. Still to this day, you can go and watch one of Shakespeare's plays by England's up-and-coming actors for as little as £5. Now £5 for live entertainment in London is extremely cheap. They have a free flag system, Red flag for an historic play, white flag for a comedy, black flag for a tragedy. Because in the Shakespearean times, most people were illiterate, they couldn't read or write. So put the flags as much as people know the plays they were showing. And it's still done as it was back in the Shakespeare's time. There was no microphones, there was no lighting, there was no special effects. It was all done by voice alone. Going underneath Millennium Footbridge, or it's commonly known as the
Millennium Bridge.
This is because in the year 2000, when it was opened by the Queen, 3 hours later, it was closed again by the police. It was swaying so violently left to right, people couldn't actually walk across the bridge without falling over. When Norman Foster, the architect, was asked on live TV about why the bridge swung so much, he said there's nothing wrong with the way I designed my bridge, it's just the way Londoners walk.
Millennium Bridge.
On the left, you have the Tate Modern Art Museum.
Tate Modern.
It was originally the Bankside Power Station. It's the only building to be opened by the Queen twice.
Tate Modern Art
It's now the
Gallery.
biggest modern art museum
इसमें मैं काम
in
कर
Europe,
चुका हूँ ये आर्ट गैलरी.
and it is completely free and open to all. And if you know anything about modern art, you'll know why it's completely free and open to all. We're coming up to Blackfriars Bridges. This is a group of bridges. First one,
Blackfriar
the
Bridge.
new Blackfriars Rail Bridge, costing £500 million. The top is totally cladded with solar panels, which gives the station that's housed inside the bridge 60% of its power. The Blackfriars train station goes from one side of the bridge to the other. There's only 3 bridges of its kind, this being the biggest one. The others are in Germany and Australia. And had to build a rail bridge here, because you'll see the remains of the original rail bridge. The first rail bridge spanned over the Thames. The original Blackfriars bridges with the red columns. This was the London to Chatham to Dover train.
Blackfriar Bridge.
Got too heavy for the bridge to support them. But they couldn't take away the footings because it compromised the other bridges. This is Blackfriars Road Bridge, opened in 1869. If you have a look at the columns that support the bridge, you'll see engraved in the stone, they are freshwater birds. On the other side, engraved in the columns, a saltwater bird. This is because when the bridge is built, this is when the Victorians thought the fresh water met the salt water from the North Sea. Now we know that must be true, that happens a lot further up the river. Here, on our right, with the green sloped roof, this is the old City of London School for Boys. Many of our members of Parliament were schooled in this school. Winston Churchill himself attended this school. He was later kicked out 2 weeks after his first day for fighting. You see the 4 statues on the side. This is Isaac Newton, Milner, Shakespeare and Bacon, all philosophers, writers, inventors and scientists. They were put there to bring inspiration to the young boys entering the school doors every day. A big work site here. This is a tideway site. It's a £5 billion super sewer, the biggest civil engineering project that England has ever seen. They replaced the old Victorian sewer lines because when they were put in, they were only built for 1 million people. Now London houses over 9 million people, so they need to replace it with bigger sewer lines. And to take 10 years, it's already 3 years behind. And if you can have a look, you can tell why it's 3 years behind. Nobody's actually doing any work. Now on the river wall here to the right, you have the green lion's heads. These are not here for decoration. These were an early flood indicator warning in the Victorian times. If the water got to a certain height, the police used to patrol the river wall and they'd have to evacuate the underground and all the surrounding houses due to flooding. So they had a couple of rhymes made up to help them remember this. If you think you know the end of the rhymes, please feel free to join in. The first one goes, if the lions are drinking, then London is sinking. If the water is up to their mains, then London will go down the drains. And the last one, if the lions' heads are ducked, And London is well and truly flooded. London's flooded. Now on to the right, you can see this archway. It's known as Temple Arch with a figurehead on top. This is Old Father Thames. This signifies the fact we are leaving the city of London and we are now entering the city of Westminster. You have the two silver griffins on the roadways either side of the road, and each road that enters the city of London have these griffins. They are put there to ward off any evil spirits entering the city of London. I can tell you now they don't work, because my mother-in-law goes through that road every day. Nothing's ever happened to her. On our right, you have the HQS Wellington, which was an old New Zealand warship in World War II. It is now a club, the Honourable Master Mariners. A Master Mariner is a captain at sea. Have been a captain at sea for at least 10 years to be part of this club. Prince Philip himself, the Queen's husband, is the president of the club. To our left, the tall tower, this is Kent Tower. This is part of the ITV studios. This is where the programmes like This Morning, Loose Swimming, sometimes X Factor, and Britain's Got No Talent, that's all filmed here. And this part of the Thames is used as a live backdrop, so you could be on live TV right now. Carrying over to the left, with the electronic signboard, the building that looks like a big concrete car park. That is our National Theatre. Now that building has been voted each year since it's been built by our leading architects as the ugliest building to ever span the River Thames. Prince Charles himself said on live TV that that is a perfect way to disguise a nuclear reactor in the heart of London. Now I think we can all agree Prince Charles knows a thing or two about ugly. But the saying, don't judge a book by its cover, definitely applies to this building, as this houses 3 of the finest auditoriums in the world. The biggest being the Olivier, 2,500 people. That is named after Laurence Olivier, co-founder. Now we're going under what is my personal favourite bridge. This is Waterloo Bridge.
Waterloo Bridge.
Or known to us on the river as a ladies' bridge. Because when the men were away fighting for King and Country during World War II, the ladies were left in charge to restore the bridge to what you can see it today. 80% of the workforce were women. And to this day, to my knowledge, it is the only bridge to be built on time and under budget. So well done to the ladies. It is made of an expensive stone, Portland stone. It is self-cleansing. You can see how clean it is on the outside compared to the underneath. That's because when it rains, the rain cleans the bridge. On our right, you have this stone obelisk. This is known as Cleopatra's Needle. This is the oldest thing in London that you will see today, older than the city of London itself. This is 3,500 years old. This was given to us by a very thankful Egyptian government after Nelson's victory in the Battle of the Nile. On our left, you have the Royal Festival Hall. This was built as a morale booster after World War II. This is the only building left from the Great Festival. Many people have performed in this hall. Pavarotti, Whitney Houston, Old Blue Eyes himself, Frank Sinatra, David Bowie, Amy Winehouse. Now unfortunately, you may have worked out, they do all have one thing in common. They have all sadly passed away. We're just looking forward to the Justin Bieber concert, and I'll be a happy man. Coming up, we've got Charing Cross Rail Bridge.
Charing Cross.
You follow the bridge all the way over to the right, you'll find Charing Cross Station. And when the architect designed the station, he designed it in a way to look like a steam train coming out of a tunnel. Now fine, if you squint your eyes and tilt your head slightly to the left, you're still not going to be able to work out a steam train coming out of a tunnel. However, this is the only bridge where you could go underneath a train and on top of a train at the same time, as the Jubilee and Bakerloo line run directly underneath.
अंदर नहीं ट्रेन जाती है इसके नीचे पानी
If
के
you
नीचे
did feel any drips whilst going through the
ये तो
grip,
सुनना
don't
है
worry. It's just the trains emptying out their toilets before they get into the
जोबरी
station.
बेकलू लाइन ये पानी के नीचे से जोबरी
As you go
लाइन
through the
ट्रेन और
bridge on the
बेकलू लाइन
right,
ट्रेन जाती है इसके
you're going
नीचे
to see a beautiful looking Gothic building. This is known as Whitehall Court Mansion. Now up until the end of World War I, this was the home to the MI6. During World War II, Winston Churchill used this building for his offices. Now it's home to the Royal Horse Guard Hotel and very posh, expensive apartments. Behind this building is where the changing of the guard happens every morning. Next to that building with the green roof and the array of different flags on top. This is known as Whitehall. This is the headquarters for the MOD. It gets the nickname the Iceberg because what you can see of the building is only a fraction of what the building actually is, as it runs for many, many metres underground, tunnels spurring off to all different places of London. I'm sure you've all noticed on our left we have the fourth largest observation wheel in the world, the Millennium Eye, sorry, the London Eye on the Millennium Wheel. It has 32 glass pods, each pod able to carry 25 people. Now when this was put up in the year 2000, originally she only had a 5-year permit. Nearly 20 years later she is still turning. That's because one reason and one reason only, money. So in the summer months she is known to generate up to £250,000 of profit every day. But there is a petition to get her name changed to the Wheel of Fortune. And it says become the second most popular place for marriage proposals, second to the Eiffel Tower. Now gentlemen, this is a warning. If you are feeling romantic and you do want to propose to your girlfriend on the eye, then just know you'll go into a glass pod at the bottom with 23 strangers. It takes 15 minutes to get to the top. And that is going to seem like the longest 15 minutes of your life. It gets to the top and it stops for a couple of seconds. Get down on one knee, say those magic words, and she says no.
25 people.
Then the next 15 minutes really will be the longest 15 minutes of your life. You'll be surrounded by 23 people feeling sorry for you.
23.
Stood next to a woman who obviously never loved you. So please, if you're going to propose, make sure she's going to say yes. Next to this you have the Old County Hall. This was the offices for the greatest city of London Council before Margaret Thatcher kicked them all out. It is now home to Shrek's Adventure. London